Today we have this GE gas dryer. This lady gave me this gas dryer, and let me tell you what was wrong with it. She said she had already bought a new one, and she just needed to get rid of this one. But I said, why didn't you call me? She said, well, I didn't know you were there. But the only thing that was wrong with this machine is this knob right here. And this happens a lot on GE knobs. And if you have a GE and it won't come on, this may be what's happening. This knob right here will crack in this D slot, and it will feel like you are turning this post when you're not. And what will happen when it cracks, it will go through the cycle and it will go to the off position and stop. And the next time you come to turn it, this will just be slipping on the shaft. And it feels exactly like it's still turning, but it's not. So the only thing that was wrong with her dryer was this knob, and I put a new knob on it, and it will work fine. But the only thing is, it's a gas dryer, and I don't have gas in this shop to test it. And not only is it a gas dryer, but it was converted from natural gas to propane by these people right here. So I do have a lady whose granddaughter uses a gas dryer. She's told me if I ever get one to hang on to it for her, and she'd be glad to buy it. But her granddaughter has natural gas, so I have to convert this back from propane to natural gas, and this is what we're going to do today. So we need to get inside this machine. So there's two bolts right here, or screws, that have to come off first. And the thing about natural gas machines, they're not 220. They have a 110 volt plug that runs the motor and the timer and everything else electrical on it. So anyway, we take these two off, and we want to pop this backwards and just lay it up. This will come loose right here, and you'll have a screw here, and you're going to have two screws in here. And there's Phillips head. And it's almost a brand new dryer. I mean, it's in really good shape. And when she brought it to me, and she said, I'm giving you this dryer, I don't want to throw it away, it's almost new, you could use it for parts. And I said, well, I don't do much with gas, but and I didn't know what was wrong with it at the time. But when I unloaded it from her truck, I said, wait a minute, do you want me to fix this for you? And I pulled it. I knew it's so common. I pulled that knob off, and sure enough, it was broken. And I said, this is a $15 fix. And she said, look, I already got a new one, and this one's just going to be in the way. You can have it. So, and that is pretty nice. And when you're in this business, things like that happen to you all the time. People and I am positioned in a pretty good place because people throughout the town are going out to the dump, and they like to go on the back roads. They don't like to go on the main highway because they get up, and but because they're driving slow, trying not to blow stuff out of their vehicle and or their truck bed, so they go on the back roads, and the back road to the dump goes right through there. So a lot of times they'll just stop and say, hey, I got this washing machine on the back of this truck, I was thinking to take the dump, you want it? I said, well, sure, I'll take it. And many times when I do take it, there's not a whole lot wrong with it. And I get a lot of free machines that way. But not everybody is located on the road to the dump. Okay, that is the easy way to take that off. And now, let's go ahead and try to unhook this without snapping our fingers. I hate this. The way GE makes these little guard things right here. I don't know that you really need that. But these clips are really hard to get off of here. You really need two hands, and this thing is like it's spring loaded, and it will snap back and hurt you. Here it goes. And here is this one. Come on. There we go. Now we can set this rascal aside. So anyway, let's take this. We're going to take this drum out. What we need to work on is right in here. But we're going to take this drum out. First we need to undo the idler pulley, which is not too hard. It's getting that rascal back on is hard. So all right, now I need the stuff to go back in it, and I ordered it and put it on my desk right here. This is a genuine replacement part, WE25X218, and you know what, they even have a installation instructions. You can text parts to 36534 and follow the prompts to have a copy of the installation instructions sent to you electronically. But it's really not that hard. There's one right here. Okay, so what we need to do is remove this burner. That the little orifice we need to change right down here, and we ought to start by taking the coil wires off. Usually, when you get one of these dryers, it comes as a natural gas, and people are changing it from natural gas to propane. Now this one has already been changed, and it needs to be changed back. So. And I was hoping that they had the parts, they left them in here, but they didn't. When you buy these dryers, these parts right here are usually taped on the back side of the dryer, so you can convert them if you want to. Now we need to take this burner loose. And it's usually just 2 screws. I cannot see that, so probably square. It is. I think that's it. And you got to be very careful because there is an igniter in there that is really fragile, and you don't want to bump it. But you can take this loose. Unfortunately, we're going to have to take this whole assembly here loose to get it back far enough to get the burner out. And there is a screw there. I have to pick it up when I slide it backwards. There is a screw here. And there should be a screw here. And also one right there. Now, these weren't very tight. And you can pull this back a little bit. Hopefully, I was hoping I didn't have to take that fitting off out there, but I'm going to have to. So let's see if I have. I'm going to have to get a pipe wrench. Maybe two, huh, Wally? So we got pipe wrenches. One. And let's use this big old pair of pliers here. That ought to do it. Yeah. So we need to take this fitting loose. Unfortunately, now we can pull our whole assembly this direction and lift up and get this out of here. And what we're changing is this orifice right here. Now the thing about natural gas versus propane is under more pressure than natural gas. Therefore, the orifice is smaller. Here's what you can damage right here, so you got to be very careful with that. So, you know, when I worked in the oil field, I was a mud logger, and my organic chemistry really came to play because we were dealing with hydrocarbons. And a hydrocarbon is basically a carbon molecule surrounded by 4 hydrogen molecules, and that is your basic methane molecule. And then you just start adding carbons and hydrogens. So you have methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, septane, octane, nonane, decane, on up into the heavy hydrocarbons. So you can see this little hole right here. That's for your propane. It is, and they have a smaller hole because propane is under more pressure than your natural gas. So what we want to do is change this one, and you can see the difference. See, it's not, you know, I guess it is about twice as, this one's about twice as big as this one. So this larger one is your orifice for natural gas. And you want to tighten that down, but you don't really need to hammer on it. Now we can put this back, and while you're putting it back, there's a a little slot thing right there that it slides into, and you want to be careful not to bang your igniter. Now, it'd be nice to put this back on first. There we go. Oh. Yeah, these are the ones I need right here. And GE uses square Phillips and square heads combined, and it is Phillips. I can't remember the name. It's Phillips and a square head, and Electrolux also uses square-headed fasteners, and it is a whole lot easier to use the square driver, a number 2 square driver. You can see there's a Phillips and a square and combination, and you can do like that. Now I'm missing one right there, and I think that's right back there. I need to make sure I get that in the right slot. And now we can put this back together. But we're not finished. We have to change something else. There's the other one on that side. Like that. Now here's one on this side. Like that. And here's the other one. Right here. Now, unfortunately, some of these are built different. They have an adjustable regulator thing here. This one, this kit, all these kits are going to come like this, and I need to change this one with this one. So I'm going to remove this. So what we got right here is it's called a regulator blocker, and what it defeats this regulator when you're using propane, and it uses the regulation right off your propane tank. So this long pin goes down in there and holds the diaphragm open on that. So when you take this off, this is the natural gas when it goes back in on the top here, and now the regulator will be doing what it's supposed to do again. And it doesn't take much to mess up the thread, to mess up this little screw. So you just want to snug it down Just like that. Now, the regulator was defeated, now it's no longer defeated, and it will work like it's supposed to. Now we want to put our coil plugs back on it, and see there's 3 on one of those and 2 on the other, so you can't mix them up. But you want to make sure you don't bend the pins. There we go. And we got everything fastened down all right. And now we have a machine that's been converted back. And it's really funny, or not really funny, but it's really weird to look back in one of these things and not see coils. the flame blows through here, heats up in here, and then sucked into the drum. I don't like gas heaters. I've always been kind of scared of them, but now what I can do is I can save these two pieces and put them back in that bag and tape them on the back, and they will be there if somebody ever wants to convert it back to propane again. But now let's just reassemble this rascal, if people allow me to. I don't know if you know it, but like 5 different people have come up here since I started trying to video this. It gets harder and harder unless I'm doing it on the weekend for people not to bug you while you're trying to make a video. But that's business. Anyway, you want to stab that back in there. The one thing you don't have to worry about in this one is messing up the coils when you're stabbing it in there. Here we go. Ouch. There we go. There we go. Ah, it's red grease. Don't worry about red grease. So now we can put this rascal back on. I really don't like the way they engineered this thing, but I didn't engineer it, so what can I say? They make it where it's hard to get to your door switch. And I'm going to fit that front back on those tabs on the bottom. Shift your top around a little bit. And now, what do I do? There they are. Use the square driver. this back on. Use my favorite Phillips head. So what we're going to do now, open this little door back up and replace our screws. There's not much to it, converting one to the other, but it has to be done correctly. So propane has a smaller orifice and natural gas, and it has to, and it's coming in on its own regulated pressure. So you have to really defeat the purpose of the regulator that comes with the machine. So you have that little gizmo that goes in there with a long pin on it that opens the regulator all the way. Now, come on. I'm having a tough time here. Yeah, it went. There you go. So you close down the orifice size and you open up the regulator, and the gas is regulated by the regulator on your propane tank. Whereas natural gas is coming in, needs to be regulated on the device itself. And now we can go ahead and that got knocked out. That's no good. Now let's put all this back together. And I won't be able to test this because I don't have any natural gas here at my shop, which really doesn't matter. One last thing you need to do when you do a conversion, if they've already made one, you need to undo this right here, because people will think that they can run propane on it, and it would be dangerous if they did, considering it wouldn't be regulated right. So this was the guy who did the conversion. So it was changed from natural gas to low pressure gas. And now it's changed back. And let me go ahead and redo this. I'm going to put a little Teflon tape on it to mitigate leakages. But when you do this again, I think that's going to be alright right there. When it's hooked up, the people that hook it up will check all that for leaks. Well, they should. What we got over there is a failure of nap time. So now I'm pretty sure this thing works. I'm going to plug it in and see. We can turn it on time dry. Uh-oh. Well, I can see one problem right there. Yeah, this is another problem of these things. Are these. So this machine had more than one problem. There we go. That is another common problem for GE, are these little things. That just might work. So what I'm trying to do is increase the distance. If you drop something in there, it'll stay in there. Yeah, that'll work. But now we have a GE dryer, gas dryer, that we can sell. Alright, I'll do that. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. I'll see you on the next one.